Hello everybody, Timothy Painter here. I'm watching little Nix over here. In a few days I plan on crossing the Ralph Lauren Ranch near Telluride. Now it's not that I know Ralph Lauren personally. I don't travel in those circles or know anybody from the ranch. I don't know anybody like that. There is a public access easement. I'm not sure the word easement is correct, but there's a road, a Forest Service road, that transitions from highway all the way to the National Forest. My objective in crossing the ranch is to scout out a camping spot I heard about in the National Forest on the other side of the ranch. That camping spot is snuggled up into the San Juan Mountains, just under Mount Sneffels. Private property next 7 miles. And please leave gate open, closed as found. The vistas are immediately incredible and spectacular. We're heading for the San Juan Mountains in yonder horizon. Hello everybody, Timothy Painter here. I'm on the Ralph Lauren Ranch. It's called the Double RL Ranch near Telluride, Colorado. And man, is it a spectacular ranch. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of property. And we thank Ricky and Ralph Lauren for letting us be on this ranch. But there is a public access road, and I'm on that public access road traveling through the ranch. Now this road is going to take us roughly 8 miles today, and that's just through a little corner of the ranch. The ranch is 17,000 acres, which is a very, very large piece of property. And it backs up to National Forest and then to wilderness. And we're going to the National Forest part. We won't make it as far as the wilderness. But just phenomenal. I mean, when I've seen a lot of real estate in my life, but rarely have I seen anything that compares to this. Now, some people may say, well, where do you get the double RL? And I'm going to take a guess. I don't know, but I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to guess that it's Ricky and Ralph Lauren, Ralph's wife, Ricky, who is a very accomplished author and artist in her own right. So, and I'm going to say a few things about the legacy of Ralph Lauren. He's a guy that said, I can do it better, and that doesn't mean cheaper. I can make it nicer, more luxurious, more upscale, a better quality. And he started doing that with ties. He started making ties a little wider and with nicer material. And the department store said, no, we don't want ties that wide. We don't think they'll sell. And a few months later, they were back at his doorstep saying, give us some of those ties. We'd like to try them. And from there, he built a fashion empire that is relevant today. Imagine somebody who is able to become relevant in the fashion industry and years later is still a powerhouse in that industry. The ranch is an epitome of Ralph Lauren. Better, upper scale, over the top. It's beautifully done. right down to the fence posts. We have to respect landowners who allow us to pass through their lands. You're going to want to be a little careful what you do here. I think a two-wheel drive vehicle could make it, but you want to be careful that you don't get yourself in trouble. And of course, during heavy rainstorms, best to stay off the road. You don't want to do damage to the road. I don't want to cause extra ruts in the road or deepen mud holes. I'm a leave no trace kind of guy. There's a canyon to this side. I'm going to guess 1,000-foot drop. And you can hear the river down below. But that's great fishing if you can get onto it. But that's also part of the ranch as far as I understand. Although there's no fencing over here, I'm sure that's part of the ranch. The views driving up to this camp spot are just spectacular. They are just phenomenal. And I'm sure, as I said before, I'm sure the Laurens really want us to enjoy the views while we're on the road. The road is an access easement only. So that means no hunting, no fishing, no fires, no camping. Pack it in and pack it out. My rig is fully self-contained. Be responsible in my driving, not kicking up too much dust, but also the road at points requires a much slower crawl. There has been some road damage, I suspect, from the recent torrential rains. Pretty good, how are you? Good. What are these mountains up here called? San Juan. These are the San Juans, and where's Mount Sneffels?
Go around this corner, it's the one with the big pointed mountain.
The big pointed. Well, I just want to tell you, and I hope you pass it along, but this really, being able to come here and see this, oh, it's just really something. Okay, well, I don't mean to take your time.
You're good. Have a good day.
Okay. As we slowly crawl our way up to the San Juans and to Mount Sneffels and to our magic camping spot, the road deteriorates even more. But the views just keep getting better. So the San Juan Mountains keep looming closer and closer. Mount Sneffels to the right, the pointed one. In one of my prior videos, I talked about the etiquette of crossing private land to reach Forest Service land. And I'll put a link to that either in the description or above, or maybe both. The San Juans are just drop dead gorgeous. You get up here and what phenomenal views. Imagine what life was like for the early pioneers who came up here. They had a hard life, but they sure had some of the most spectacular country in the world to live. So the road is well signed, well marked. We're at 6 miles now, and we're going to be going about 7 miles. So we're coming up to, sorry, the road is really bumpy. We're coming up to National Forest. We're finally at the top. And just as fair warning, this drop by the cattle guard is killer. I could probably get a vehicle up this, but it's pretty rough. You just get a sense of inner peace and tranquility when you're up here. It's really hard to describe. I mean, it's something you have to do to really know. I'm trying to watch little Nix over here. She's having a wonderful time exploring, but she can't explore very far because it's private mostly. On my left is private, so I just got to make sure she doesn't stray off into the private ranch because we really respect property rights. Nix just loves to hang out, so she'll come and sit right by you. But just outside of reach, she's not easy to catch when she gets off. And I have to really work hard to keep track of her. I am afraid of predators, bobcats, coyotes, and bears up here. So something you always have to watch out for. So we're not going to go into the wilderness area today. It's obviously a little bit of a hike. Also, the road turns into almost a four-wheel drive road eventually. So I'm not going to take my van that far up. Again, we really appreciate the conservation efforts of Ralph and Ricky Loran. The San Juans, including Sneffels. My name's Timothy Painter, and I go to really remote places. A lot of my audience can't get out like I can. Some of them are homebound, others are caretakers. So we go to places that they otherwise would never get to see. You can follow me. My handle is Traveling Timothy on YouTube.